Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show with your hosts, Wayne and Gabby.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, real estate investors. Welcome to the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show. We are your hosts, Wayne and Gabby Hillier. On today's episode, we're going to be talking all about important features for your rental properties in Canada. I suppose this could apply to Americans as well.
I think anywhere. Globally. Okay, maybe not. Sure, North America.
Let's just stick to North America. Yeah, this could apply to pretty much anywhere in North America. But today, we're talking to Canadian real estate investors. We're talking what's important to Canadian real estate investors. Maybe there's some features that are a little bit more specific to our colder climate that might be only applicable to Canadians, depending on where you are in Canada. But yeah, we're very excited for today's show. Today's show is actually inspired by a listener question that was emailed in for an investor who is about to close on a rental property. Did they say it was their first rental property? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. Let's see here. Closing on a property.
A property. Okay, so not a first, but yeah. A rental property, which congratulations.
Yes.
We just got to say
Clap.
Congratulations. Closing on a rental property. This has some questions about important features and whether it's a good idea or not a good idea, whether it's worth spending the money or not worth spending the money.
And some really good considerations. It was a great question.
Okay, so we're going to be getting into that in a short little bit here. We're broadcasting from Edmonton, Alberta. But historically on the podcast, come on in. Yeah, absolutely. Weather girl. Historically on the podcast, we have always done the weather specifically for Edmonton. But moving forward, what we'd like to do is be a little bit more national and cover the weather across Canada. So, Everly is going to, fill us in on what the weather is looking like today across Canada.
The weather today will be 22 degrees in Edmonton, 24 degrees in Vancouver, 14 degrees in Toronto, and 12 degrees in Halifax.
Okay. Did a little switcheroo. A little cold on the East Coast today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Evie.
Any other cities we should be including?
Yes, I was wondering that. I just picked some random ones kind of spanning across, but if you would like your city included in the weather, just let us know. Yeah,
let us know. If you're on the live show, let us know in the chat on YouTube. Or you can email us at info@reimorningshow.com. Let us know if you'd like your city weather added in. Maybe we'll do a one-off special. If there's enough demand, we might include it long term.
Permanently.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're sitting
Get your votes in now.
If you're sitting down there in Dunnville, Ontario, thinking like, gosh, I'd love to know what the weather is today.
Is that an actual town?
Yeah.
Dunnville. I like it. There could be so many memes associated with it.
Bet you wouldn't. Bet you wouldn't.
All right. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna make fun of Ontario. Ontario's great.
Do you have a local small town that only your local friends and people where you grew up would be like, that town? Yeah, I know that town.
Yeah.
What's that town?
Salmo.
Wow.
Salmo, BC, West Kootenays. Yeah, Salmo was always the laugh. We always made jokes about Salmo.
Tell me some of the jokes that you used to make about the people in Salmo.
No, I'm not gonna. Don't make me say them on this recorded podcast.
Oh my God! I bet they were said in the '90s, so they were definitely not appropriate. They're definitely not appropriate for the 2020s right now.
But the flannel jacket was the Salmo dinner coat.
Oh, you guys were ruthless jokers. Wow, you really let them have it, didn't you?
Anyways. You're trying to make me look bad. I'm not going to have it.
I'm just trying to get
not going to have it.
Some good old classic jokes out of you. That's okay.
I'm not good at the jokes. But we have...
if I keep chugging my coffee, I'm going to see if she gets any further.
No.
Says anything more. I just kept on chugging. I'm all out of coffee now. You're like, and so who's here with us on the live show today?
I'm just going to move right along here.
All right, Gabrielle.
Morning, Josh. Morning, Kirsten.
Yeah.
Morning, Nori. else is here? We have Carmen here. Good morning, Carmen.
Right on.
Yeah. Not a lot of people talking to us this morning yet, though.
Well, it's okay. Yeah. Well, it's and this isn't probably something you should say on your own show, especially live. But our numbers have been dipping off. I don't think that this new time is resonating with people. I don't think that YouTube is actually working for people.
Oh.
Couldn't help but notice that our numbers came out hot and strong out of the gate as soon as
Okay.
we went to video, and then kind of just fell off a little bit. And I think everybody's still listening to audio. And so I'm wondering, why in God's name are we getting up and washing our faces and showering for you every morning if no one's watching it on YouTube?
Yeah. We could do it. We could record it at any time.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Real life story here. Driving home last night from soccer. Coached my daughter's soccer team. We love soccer. We live for taking our kid to soccer. It's like our favorite thing. Literally, we put up with shit all week from people and all we look forward to is going to soccer with our kid. And I'm driving home last night, and it must have been like 10 after 9. And I said to the family, I says, can you imagine if we didn't have a podcast in the morning? What kind of life we could have? Do you ever stop and think about like what kind of life we could have if we didn't have a podcast in the morning? I said, like I told my daughter, you're homeschooled. Like we could literally get on a plane to Vegas right now. We could literally go to Vegas. That's the kind of life we could have.
Yep. We could be anywhere at any time.
I would not need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that, of course, she had soccer and she has soccer tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that and the day after that. So living that lifestyle wouldn't exactly last very long because she would probably get, she wouldn't be able to play club soccer. But I do sometimes dream about, wow, what would life be like if we didn't have to wake up early for a podcast every morning?
Yeah. I do too. But at the same time, something that I am finding, even just pushing it an hour later, is I feel like that really good morning routine slipping.
Oh? And
I think that if we didn't get up and record a podcast at all, that I don't know for sure. Of course, it takes time to kind of like reconfigure a routine, right? But I feel like we would become sleeping in people who the day started out a little bit dragging, hard to get into work, hard to get into school for Everly. You know what I mean? Like it's when you're up and you have something to do, whether it be like working out or recording a podcast or like whatever it is, it's like that purpose to get up. And then it's like naturally your day just starts. You're up, you've done something. Now it's time to get to the rest of it, right?
Right.
But I think without it, that we as a family could possibly struggle.
Yeah, we do need a reason to get up.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do about this whole like listener drop off thing where like pretty much all of our Alberta listeners are not coming around anymore because it doesn't work for their time. 7 to 8 doesn't quite work as well for me. YouTube is just fine. I see in the chat there. Most people, they, like you had said, this is kind of the time where most people are getting ready for work and geting ready and get their kids ready and things like that. So it doesn't really, 6 to 7 was probably better for a lot of people in this time zone. So I think what we need to do is we need to start attracting people in the West Coast time zone.
Yes.
Is Nori here this morning? Nori's here.
Nori's here, yeah.
Nori, we're gonna start a West Coast campaign, and we're hoping that maybe you could help us out with that. Gabby's already started it off really strong this morning with making very local, small town jokes for West Coast people.
Come on, Salmo.
Come on, Salmo. You bums.
Join us.
You bums. What's the population of Salmo?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
32?
No, it's bigger than that, but yeah.
The whole family's pissed.
That's a good joke. I liked it.
Yeah. Could have went further, but anyways, it doesn't matter. Anyways, today's episode, back to it. You guys said that, what did I, what? What was I saying? I think I just had a small stroke. I think I had a tiny stroke there.
Oh my god.
You guys didn't say anything. The heck was I saying?
What's happening?
We said today that we were going to talk all about, not you, we said that we were going to talk all about important features for your rental properties.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yes.
I am going to take a quick little commercial break, pop a Cheerio or two and lower my cholesterol and come back, and hopefully I can get this show back on track. We'll be right back.
You are a professional real estate investor. You are not a professional boxer. And you are definitely not a professional bookkeeper. Enter Fingo. Fingo is a professional bookkeeping service by and for professional real estate investors. Your life just got a whole lot easier, and your profits are ready to soar. Leave the bookkeeping to Fingo so you can focus on what's most important, finding the next deal and raising money for it. Schedule your free consultation at fingo.com.
How's my face? Is it
It's not
drooping at all
It's
on
not
one
drooping.
side?
You're good.
All right.
I think you're going to be okay.
I sure hope so. That was scary there. All right. Well, we got an email here. And by the way, if you guys have any questions you would like us to answer on the show, just send us an email to info@reimorningshow.com. Sending your questions. We will answer them live on the show for you. We provide free coaching for real estate investors every weekday morning at 7 a.m. on YouTube. All you need to do is just send in your questions. Additionally, if you'd like to ask your questions live and get them answered live that day, you can just join us on YouTube. Look up Wayne Hillier on YouTube, my channel. You'll find the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show broadcasted live there at 7 a.m. And you can put your questions in the chat. Additionally, if you have any, you want to be a part of the conversation, there's lots of great real estate investors that hang out here every morning. I know I just said a little while ago the numbers have been dropping off, but there's still good ones.
They're here, yeah.
Don't worry, there's still a few good ones, and a few stinkers. But yeah, come join us live. It gets broadcasted live here before it gets sent off for editing, and then it makes its way through the podcast channels and whatnot through YouTube and Spotify and iTunes and all those other things. But yes, this question came in by email. I'll read the email for you, Gabby, because I think that this is Gabby's area of expertise, which is managing tenants and setting up your rental properties. Gabby is one of Canada's top property management, tenant, landlord experts. When it comes to this kind of stuff, I mean, and nobody knows more about it than she does. And I mean, maybe somebody does, but Gabby you've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm very proud for the fact that I get to be married to her, and I also business partners with her, because she keeps a real tight ship on this. She runs a tight ship on this rental portfolio, which is super helpful because of the fact that the better the systems and the tighter the ship, I guess, lack of better terms, the less risks and the less chaos. And less chaos, less risks means more profits, ultimately. The more systems you put in place and the tighter they are and the better you stick to them, the more profits, ultimately, for our real estate portfolio. So I'll get into this question here. It says here, congrats on the video podcast. You guys look great. Thank you. Appreciate that. And honestly, it was probably the time to move because you guys have been talking about this since last summer. Yeah, we have. So good. Somebody's been listening. Anywho, he says, I have a couple questions from your recent discussion about finding the perfect tenants. I am closing on a property in the second week of May. So that's this week?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Again, congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah. And wanted to get your thoughts on a few things. So there's two questions. So first, it's an older townhouse and doesn't have a dishwasher. Do you think it's worth installing one? Also, have you ever used portable dishwashers in your rentals? The second question is, the main bathroom needs a full reno, and the property is 1.5, so 1.5 baths. Okay. I'm going back and forth between putting in a bathtub or just a standing shower. From a rental point of view, what do you think works better? Any pros and cons I should keep in mind? Would really appreciate anything you can share. Thanks again. All right.
All right.
Cool. So let's start off with the dishwasher, Gabby. What are your thoughts on the property not having a dishwasher? Is it worth installing one? And then we'll touch on portable dishwashers after.
Okay. So I think with this consideration of, should you install a dishwasher? Should you leave it without a dishwasher because you're purchasing it without one? I think that there's kind of two considerations that you need to keep in mind here, I guess, with really any features that we talk about. And one is the money that you spend installing the dishwasher, doing all the plumbing, getting the actual unit, installing the unit. Is that going to increase the value of your property? And are you going to be able to recapture that money that you put into the property? In this case, the answer is no, right? It's not going to increase the value of your property to put in a dishwasher.
Right.
So we can kind of axe that because you're just not going to see a return on that money that you put in.
Right.
And then the second consideration is, whether or not it's super important for the tenant if anybody's going to rent your property without it.
Right.
And in this circumstance, I always say that it's better to have a dishwasher. If I was looking at two side-by-side units and I could purchase either one of them and one of them had the dishwasher and one of them didn't, and, price-wise, they were around the same, I would take the one with the dishwasher because you're going to hit a larger tenant pool of people who see the dishwasher. They see those two rental units are on the market and they're like, oh, they're about the same. It's not going to increase your rent to have the dishwasher either. So they're going to see two units about the same rent. They're going to take the one with the dishwasher, right? But that's when they're side by side. If I put a rental unit on the market that doesn't have a dishwasher, am I going to have trouble finding a tenant? No. I'm probably going to find a tenant just as easily as, or as quickly as I would if it had a dishwasher. But when you're comparing those two things side by side, somebody would choose a dishwasher over not having one in most cases. So all it's doing is you're hitting a slightly larger tenant pool of people where that's important to them. But I don't think it makes or breaks somebody's decision when they're looking for a rental in most cases.
So in a hot rental market, meaning that there's lots of tenants and
not enough rentals, is this ever something that's I'm not going to rent that place? No.
Is that ever an issue?
No. You're going to rent it, no problem, in a hot rental market.
Okay, let's flip it then. In a not so hot rental market where there's lots of rental stock, lots of options for tenants and less tenants, will it be something that someone would walk away from your unit to get one that has a dishwasher?
Yeah, so in a softer rental market, people can definitely become more picky. They have options. There's lots of other rental properties out there for them to look at. So they can start making a wish list. They can start saying it's important for, this specific layout. It's important to have this type of yard, this type of space, have a dishwasher, having a certain number of bathrooms, all those types of things start becoming more, they get to be more picky about them. Right. So in a softer market, this is where you would maybe see people go, not next if it didn't have a dishwasher. But I'm not going to place dishwasher super high on the must-have list. I'm going to maybe place it mid when we're talking about all the different things they can be looking for. It'll maybe sit mid on the list of importance on that list.
Because it's not something that someone needs.
Yeah.
Anybody
can hand wash dishes.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter how many
It's
kids you have. Doesn't matter where you live. It is a luxury item. It's a luxury feature. And so, as you said, it really depends on the rental market that you're currently in. And do keep in mind that rental markets go like this, right? They're always in ups and downs, and sometimes it's easier to fill a vacancy. Sometimes it's harder to fill a vacancy, depending on where the rental market is at that time. And it kind of shifts and alternates every few years. So if you're playing for the long term, if you've listened to everything that we've said and everything that we teach, you bought this property with the intention of keeping it for at least 15 years, then you have to plan for a rental market that will not be as fun. It will take a little bit longer to fill a vacancy. It means you might have to drop the rent a little bit. You're going to have to do things that you might not normally have to do in a hotter rental market. And I say that because I hear so many people that will say like, oh, it's not a good time to buy rentals right now. We're in a down market. Like, would you plan on buying and selling every 2 to 3 years? Like just like trying to time the rental market for it to be absolute perfect conditions for you? It's better to be proactive and build out a rental property business that can weather good times and bad times. So buying a property that has a dishwasher is definitely a great thing for you because you're going to be more competitive in down rental markets as well as good rental markets, right? But as Gabby also said as well, is it worth spending an extra $1,000? How much does it cost? $1,000, something like that?
Well, I mean, a dishwasher unit itself can be $500, $600, $700, and then the installation is another $200, $300. Plus modification of plumbing and
cabinetry.
Putting countertop over top, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's
1,000.
More than 1,000, I would say. If you're starting from scratch and you don't have anything set up for it, you're well over $1,000.
It just doesn't seem like it's worth it to spend that extra money just for when you may need it in the future. And also, as Gabby said, that means more money in. You already paid a down payment and closing costs to acquire this property. That was your initial investment. That means now you're going to have to put another $1,000 in. And what that does is that affects your overall return on investment, because what you're trying to do is put the least amount of money in and get the most return back, right? That's what investing is. I put money in, and dollar for dollar, I want to know that every dollar I put in, I want to get a really good amount of money, dollars back, right? So the more dollars you put in, the worse your return on investment is. So you don't want to put more money in if you don't have to, unless you absolutely have to. And the other consideration that Gabby said is, can you get that money back? Maybe perhaps is it worth it because you've increased the value of the property by $30,000? I'm putting $1,000 in, but I've increased that property by $30,000. Well, that's a good investment. You made a decent trade-off for that. It might be worth leaving that money in there. Or can you bundle it in? Can you add it as part of the financing? Maybe your lender will allow you to bundle and blend that into your mortgage as part of improvements when you purchase the property. There's a few different options to kind of make it a better decision. But you're saying, generally speaking, unless it already has it, it's not worth spending the money, in your opinion?
My opinion, yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about portable dishwashers then. That was his second question. What are your thoughts on portable dishwashers?
I don't have any experience with portable dishwashers. I've never used one myself. So I can't speak on, having an actual opinion on the actual unit. And therefore, I guess I'm having trouble kind of drawing a conclusion. I think that if somebody wanted to bring in a portable dishwasher, that I probably wouldn't have an issue with it. Like if the tenant wanted to bring in their portable dishwasher, I'd probably be okay with it. Of course, I'd have to do some research. Does that cause any issues with electrical load and all that kind of stuff as well?
Are they running it from the hose in the backyard? And then the other hose just go directly into the toilet?
But just without knowing too much about them, I would say that I would probably rather spend money on an actual dishwasher unit than on a portable one. I would assume that portable ones are susceptible to more wear and tear and probably breaking down because you're moving them around, you're plugging them into things and plugging them out rather than it just sitting there and doing its job. But again, that's coming from a place of ignorance. I do not, have all the information on how they work and whatnot. So I would probably say that I'm okay if they wanted to bring their own in, but I would not supply one.
Yeah. Every portable dishwasher I've ever seen has been in a kitchen. I don't know. It's just
in a too small kitchen, just taking up.
It's just it's almost like they almost put a counter on top of it, and then you'll watch everybody eating their craft dinner on top of it. It's just it's always been in a. I was trying to find a word for the type of kitchen that I've seen it in. It's always been in a redneck kitchen. Let's just put it that way. It's always looks like it shouldn't be there, and it looks like someone just rigged it up last night because they had some dirty dishes and they were just trying to find a fast way to clean it. It just doesn't look right. Every portable I've ever seen. And I've just been in a lot of rental properties. I've been in a lot of like properties like, looking to buy. And then I'm just like, what the heck are they doing here? And it's always been that kind of reaction. So, but that's also, as Gabby said, that's ignorant. So, that's maybe someone's figured out a way to do it better, but I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. Certainly not worth the money. And hopefully that kind of helps you make the decision on the dishwasher. But the other question that this listener had, this investor who's picking up a property this week, they had asked about the fact that the main bathroom needs a full renovation. Should they go with a bathtub or just a standing shower? What are your thoughts on this?
I love this question. And I think that this question is actually super important. So when we're talking about a rental property and whether to have a bathtub or just a standalone shower, there's some considerations we need to make. Mainly, who is the target tenant profile? Okay, this is super important. You need to know who your tenant is that you are targeting to have in this rental property. And the reason why is because bathtubs and showers are actually like this this thing that maybe it's easy for like, we need to think about like, okay, what do older people want versus what would a family want versus what would a single person want? Mm-hmm. And all of those different classes are going to have like a different opinion on what's important to them, because maybe a senior, it's really important to have a shower that they can easily step into because mm-hmm. they can't get over the bathtub, right? Or one of those walk-in tubs where you can like open the door and close it behind you. Whereas, and same thing with like a younger single person, they might not really care about a bathtub because I'm like, and even for me, like I personally hate baths. I've never liked them. And so to me, I'm like, oh, shower all day long. Like our ensuite is a big walk-in shower. That's perfect for me. That's all that I ever want. But a family with kids, especially young kids, yeah. babies up until, probably, 7 or 8 years old, a bath is going to be super important because they need to bathe their kids. They're not typically carrying them into a shower to bathe them, right?
Yeah.
So if you are attracting families, a bath is super duper important. Yeah. And I will say that unless you're like purchasing senior living, I would say that any other class of tenant, if you can, even if you're not attracting specifically a young family, if you can, I would always have a bath and a shower, like the bath shower combination, because then you're just hitting all the wants and desires, right? So in very rare circumstances, what I would say just put in a standing shower.
I feel like this would be a much bigger issue with people when they're looking at this rental property compared to dishwashers. Because like you said, dishwashers are a luxury.
Tippy top of the important list.
Yeah, because though in a really, really hot rental market, I feel like people will be like, oh my God, like this is gonna suck, but they'll figure it out. Yeah. But like, they're certainly not going to be happy about it. They're going to be like, oh, well,
this sucks. We're probably not going to stay long once the market softens. We're going to be looking
elsewhere.
They're
going to move. Yeah. Yeah. So the retention to keep them is going to be difficult. I feel like this is going to be something that's definitely going to not necessarily be a go, no go for them, but it's going to be right up there. Where like this would probably be the one thing that they're going to complain about the most. Yeah. Is the fact that there's no bathtub. Yeah. And depending on like this, in this situation, as he says, an older townhouse, we're talking about a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom type situation. A large majority of the people that are looking at your property are going to be families.
Yes.
Large majority. Like it's going to take up a huge chunk. And if 90% or 80% of the people that would normally look at your property are going to skip over it because it doesn't have a tub, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Yeah. So if it doesn't, even if it did make a cost difference, I would definitely, me personally, I say tub. I say
tub all day long. Yeah. And I will also say, just from experience of installing showers in several different properties and renovations that we've done, I find that actually a tub with like a normal what's it called, the inserts, the tub surround, those typically are going to be cheaper to purchase and install.
What's
than
cheaper?
A tub and a surround.
Tub and a tub surround?
Yeah.
Okay.
Than a stand-up shower, getting the base and the surround and the shower, proper shower doors and stuff. Those typically end up costing a lot more once all is said and done, including the install.
Right.
So tubs and those inserts for the tub surround are the way to go for rentals.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What if the property had an existing stand-up shower? Would you buy it?
Ooh.
What if it didn't have a tub?
Ooh.
It was a 3-bedroom townhouse, for example, and it was beautifully renovated. Let's say this was maybe a fix and flipper who didn't know what the heck they were doing. Just renovated this property and just beautifully renovated. I mean, this thing is going to show incredibly well, but some maroon decided to do a beautifully tiled stand-up shower, double head, spray all over, fancy gadgety shower.
Okay.
Would you buy it for a rental property?
That's a great question. I think that without going too far down any rabbit hole, I think that the price would have to be really right. And the reason why I'm thinking this way is because I would almost want to expect that I might need to offer lower rent to attract single people or couple. Well, yeah, probably a single person who could afford to rent that type of unit. So I'm looking at a single income, not a dual income, because I'm expecting that it might not be families that I am all day long attracting, right? So if I could get a really good price and be able to offer a slightly lower rent to attract a single income, that I might consider it. But I think in a 3-bedroom townhouse, it would be a pretty big turnoff for me to see that it didn't have a tub. It would be a serious consideration I would have to make.
Of all the applications that we typically get for 3-bedroom townhouses, how many of them are people without kids? What percentage?
Very few, like less than 10%.
So you are literally just instantly crossing off 90% of your tenant pool for that particular asset.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. You want to know what I think? I wouldn't. And I don't care how good the price is.
Yeah.
Because we always think about tenant profile first.
Yes.
Who are we renting to and what do they want?
Yes. Or is the price good enough that I could take the shower out and put a tub in? Right?
Perhaps. Yeah, if you can blend it. I mean, as long as it's not too much. If I'm having to spend $3,000 to $4,000, redoing all of that, I want to know that I'd be able to get that money back out and then I'm not dumping an extra $3,000 to $4,000 in it. Unless, of course, there's still a huge amount of money to be made on the buy, which I can't imagine there would be. This would be a very unique situation, which I don't think we'd ever be in. But yeah, that would be the only thing. I agree with you. The only thing that I would do. Otherwise, I would just not buy it. Doesn't matter how good it is.
Yeah. I was trying to find a circumstance where I might, but I agree with you. I think that it would just probably be a no for us.
And that's interesting, though, even doesn't matter what price it is, where it is, the opportunity. Wow, this is such an amazing deal. It doesn't matter. Why are we buying this property?
Yeah.
We're buying this property because we believe it's going to go up in value over time. And during that time, while we hold it for the long term, we want to be able to operate a business out of this. And we want to be able to sell this to someone. And I say sell, I mean rent it out to someone or a few families over the duration of that period for a good amount of rent and for it to be profitable. We want this business that we're going to operate out of this asset to be profitable. And if nobody wants it, nobody wants to rent this property, then it's not going to be a very profitable business. So it doesn't matter how good the property is. It doesn't matter how good the deal is on the buy. If it doesn't work as a business, then don't buy it, right? And I think that there's a confidence in this and being the ability to be able to say, nope, that's not for me. right?
Yeah.
And it feels good to know that. And I see so many people, they're like, oh, I got this property. It's a $900,000 house. I got it for $150,000 under market value. It's a great rental property. People are going to love it. Yeah, but the numbers don't work. Doesn't matter how much money you made on the buy. Doesn't matter how much it's going to go up in value over time. During that time, while you're waiting for it to go up in value, you still have to operate this business. And if the business is a fucking money pit that's costing you thousands of dollars every month because you're underwater on it, like you can't cover the expenses, then it's not going to work. Or when things don't go well, because markets go like this, when it's down, you're not going to be, it's not sustainable. You're going to be that type of person that frantically tries to sell the property because you have to sell. Whereas everybody else who built it right, they'll be like, okay, this is just part of the process. It's okay. We've been through this before. We'll make our way up again. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's good. Okay, it's good. It's just part of the process. So when you think that way, when you invest that way, those are the type of people that don't typically last in this industry.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter how good the deal is. Honestly, if it doesn't work for your rental property business, just don't buy it. Right. Don't do it.
Yeah.
That was a good example of one I don't think we've ever talked about on the podcast, but
yeah. Could I talk about a situation where I think it's okay to have a shower?
Sure.
And okay, so this is a situation where I feel like it's okay to just have a shower. And it's still not ideal. I'm standing by my earlier comments that if you can get a tub in there, get a tub in there.
Yeah.
All day, every day, every time, every single unit. Okay. But circumstances where I think it's okay to just have a shower is in like a one bedroom unit. So in a one bedroom unit, I guess I would more specifically say like a basement suite. I think those situations, you can get away with it easier because one bedroom units don't typically have children. Sometimes you might have like a single parent applying with a young child where they're just kind of in a situation that's all they can afford and they make it work for them. And so in that situation, it might be a problem that there's not a tub, but almost always in one bedroom basement suites, you're going to be attracting one person, sometimes a young couple, but mainly just like a young single person kind of moving out on their own or kind of like starting over, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And a bath typically won't make or break that situation. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say the same would go for like an apartment condo or one bedroom unit in a multifamily building as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it's all about just understanding your tenant profile first and what it is that they need.
Yeah.
So, I see Jessica's joined us on YouTube here, and she said, "Yo, what the? Since when are you guys doing this on video? What rock have you been living under?" My goodness. Am I not posting enough? Am I not sharing what we're up to enough? Apparently hasn't made its way to Calgary, but yes, we've been doing a live video now for our second week and a half, something along those lines. Yeah. And I hope glad to see you here. It's good to see you. Okay, so guess what?
Tell me.
Townhouse just came up. I think I might go buy it. You guys ever get that? Where it's like a new property has come up on your list.
I wonder how many of our listeners, did anybody else just get the same notification?
It's because everybody's got the same email list. Their same criteria as me. I have to fight everybody. They call it the Wayne Special. There is a search out there. They call it the Wayne Special. It's not a joke either that like there are people that would reach out to the same realtor and say, hey, I want the Wayne Special. And basically they would copy exactly what I'm looking for, all the criteria, which has made it very difficult for when I want to buy something, everybody else gets the exact same email at the same time. And then it becomes this like foot race to see who can get there and write an offer fastest. Whatever. There's more than enough. There's more than enough for everybody. So I think it's great. And I see Leanne's in the chat here. She says, every day, Leanne just bought a property next door to my property. Literally, we are
neighbors.
We are neighbors. We literally bought units beside each other. And then I actually own another unit that I just purchased, just right around the corner. Like it's like a 4-second walk. I bet Leanne can look into the backyard of my other unit. So, anyways, I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's more than enough for everybody. There's some great deals in Edmonton, I tell you. And I'm happy to see. I'm not even mad. I'm happy to see that people are buying great properties that are getting great returns, that have very low risk, because the cash flow is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So I'm happy to see everybody taking action on that. Okay, so back to today's topic about, important features for your rental properties. I love this email. I know that you loved it as well, Gabby.
Yes.
And I'm just going to put this away now. It inspired me to think, okay, well, there's a couple features that are important to people, but like, what are some other features that are important? I started off by doing it as a features that were specific for townhouses. And then I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, no, we can just make this for all properties. So important features for rental properties. I'm going to list off some features, and I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on whether they're an absolute must or a maybe. And then also I'd love to know if you would spend money on them.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to start off with a super simple one. A yard.
Okay. And we're talking kind of all unit types.
What do you want? Well, obviously it's not going to work for an apartment condo.
Yeah.
So let's say, let's just, okay. Well, since this email, Prince sent this email in, let's stick to townhouses then.
Okay.
Let's do townhouses today.
Must.
A must?
A must.
For a townhouse.
Yeah. I would not buy a townhouse that had just like communal yard space.
I saw one yesterday, and it was a beautiful townhouse. Everything was fantastic. Great curb appeal, great siding, great insides, great outsides. And then there's a deck off the back door and out to green grass with no fence.
Yeah, no. Fenced in yard is a must for me for a townhouse unit. And the reason being, well, two reasons. One reason is because we've already established we're attracting families, and families want a safe space for their kids to play. Okay. So safety right now is high on parents' list. We're all a little on edge these days with everything in the world. And so a safe place for their kids to play where they can just let them out the back door.
Is it really that big of a thing?
Yes. Yes.
I would argue that there were a lot more white and brown vans when I was a kid.
There wasn't access to information on how many children were being kidnapped.
Oh my God, Gabby.
Anyways, a safe place for their kids to play. Come on, moms, back me up here.
I thought it was safer.
I feel like this is the mental load that mothers carry, and that dads are just like, oh yeah, go out and play in the street.
As long as they're back by 5. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, so mental load that moms carry. Okay, good. The second reason is because a very large percentage of renters and people in general have pets. Like, I don't think that people realize how important it is to be pet friendly in today's rental space. So they also want a backyard where they can let their pet out. They don't need to take them out on a leash to pee every time they need to let their animal out. So
okay.
Absolute must.
Okay. I've got 10 more.
Oh, okay. So you want me to maybe shorten my answers?
No, I just didn't expect that.
I'd have so much to say.
I have so much to say about that.
Okay.
You can't build
Well,
a yard.
it was the top of my list, so of course I want to back up why. Right?
All right. Speaking of yards, what about a shed?
A shed? Meh. Doesn't matter.
What about a single family house? Would you add a shed?
No, God no. Okay. Single family houses or townhouses, proper townhouses, not the carriage style or any of that kind of crap out there, and a good townhouse or a single family house is going to have a basement, lots of storage, lots of closets, lots of space for you to put your stuff, and hopefully also a garage. So no, I absolutely would not purchase or build a shed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just stick to single family houses just for a minute here, because I had a couple for those specifically.
Okay.
Fire pit.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I was shortening my answers.
Just curious as to why.
Damages the yard or the lawn. So if it's not existing, I am not going to spend money putting one in. It's a hazard. It's also encourages people to be outside being loud and, at night and bothering neighbors and such. I think that there's some instances where responsible tenants, it's like, oh, they're settling in. They want to be able to enjoy the space. It's nice for the family to go out and make s'mores, yada, yada. But I think, the larger picture is that you're going to have more tenants than, stand up.
So people who use fire pits are sketchy tenants.
Nope,
Got it. Just
nope,
marking
did
that down
not
here.
say that.
Okay. So
Did
what do
not say
people
that.
do around fire pits?
Drink,
And what do people do when they drink?
be loud,
And
cause problems.
pour stuff onto fires? Put stuff in fires? Let's see what happens when you burn this.
We do have fire pits at, actually, I think
We do?
maybe only
We might
one of our
have one or
property
two.
now.
We might have one or two.
Yeah, I'd have to really think about it, and we've had no problems.
Yet.
Yeah. But we did have somebody put in a fire pit without our approval, and it did ruin the lawn and had to do some pretty extensive repair to that property. Yeah. It was a long time ago, though.
Okay. Going back to that question we had earlier, the second bathroom. Is a second bathroom a must in a townhouse?
No, not
No?
a must. No.
Why?
It's a perk. It's definitely a perk. When we're looking at townhouses in Edmonton and when they were built, the good ones, going back to the good ones, several of them were built with half bath, like 1.5, and several of them were built with 1 bathroom. And in this targeted asset class, I find that people are more acceptable of there being just 1 bathroom. They're not expecting there to be a half. I feel like it's a perk when they find one with a half bath. It's like, oh, bonus. But I don't find it to be a deal breaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
For us or for the tenants?
For us or for the tenants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would
I
you-
definitely want it. If it's there, I'm like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Score.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If whether it be a single family or a townhouse, what about air conditioning?
No. Do tenants want it? Yes.
Mhm.
Is it really nice when they have it? Yes. Would I buy a property with an air conditioning unit? Yes. Is it adding an element of further expenditures that I need to pay for? Yes. So you need to pay to maintain them. You need to pay to repair them. You need to replace them if they crap out completely. So it's just adding in this extra thing that I need to spend money on that isn't a necessity. Most high percentage of rental properties do not have air conditioning. So this is a luxury amenity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of luxury, obviously not a townhouse, but on a single family house. What about a hot tub?
Oh, hell nah.
Oh, hell nah?
No. Never. No. If I bought a property with it, I'd take it out.
For all the same
I would pay
reasons?
to take it out. You're just going to have so many issues maintaining that and fixing it, repairing it, keeping it running. Hot tubs are like real proper hot tubs are a full-time job
Yeah.
to keep the way they need to be kept.
Jessica says, I have a hot tub.
Absolutely
not a chance
not.
I would have it in a rental property.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody would maintain it properly. Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
When I first moved here, when I was looking at rental properties, it's funny. I remember where the property was now, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe it's funny. You think about moving, like rewinding the tape, and like if I were to have moved into that place, I would have never met you.
This is
Had
true.
I taken that rental property, I would have never run into you. She was my neighbor, and I shacked up with my neighbor. What? What? I
True story.
got game. I got game. But anyways, had I not chosen the rental property that I did, I would have never met you, and I would have ended here. And this property here was in, I want to say it was in Calder.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would have moved
Ooh.
directly to Calder.
Ooh.
And the reason why I was going to choose it was because it was a full house. Okay, full house and not a townhouse. It was a full house. I would have been renting, and it had a hot tub.
Okay.
And I thought, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Townhouse, I was 20, 21, and I was like, townhouse, full house, this is dope. It's my first like big paycheck. Like I'm moving across the country. I'm getting my, a great job that pays well for me at that time, at least. And I'm going to have a hot tub. And it's funny. I just look back at it now. I'm just like, oh my God, like how many other people do you think were in that hot tub?
Yeah.
A hot tub in a rental property?
Mm.
Were they maintaining it properly? Even if I did manage to meet you somehow, somewhere, because we were just destined to be together, I probably would have met you with chlamydia.
Oh my God.
You probably wouldn't have stayed with me because I think a lot about that disgusting hot tub I would have spent so much time in.
Nice.
But anyways, help stop the spread of chlamydia.
Do not put hot tubs in your rental properties. This message was approved by Wayne and Gabby Hillier.
The Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show. That's almost the perfect spot to end the podcast today, but I've got about 4 or 5 more.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe I should have ended on that high note. Anywho, okay. So it's a hard no for
Hard
hot
no.
tub. It's a
Such a
no
hard
for
no.
air conditioning. Would you install a TV mount?
Sure.
This is a question that came up with one of our students recently.
Yeah. We actually talked quite extensively about this, which is funny. It's like, how do you go into detail about whether or not to install a TV mount? But I guess like some of the key points around it are that, and actually the student made a good argument. They're like, if we go in and we install a good TV mount that covers an appropriate amount of sizes of TVs, so, you know, whether they have a 60-inch or 45-inch, like it's adaptable, it can just stay there and people can take their TV off when they move, and then the new people can come in and put their TV up and it works, right? It can just stay there. Versus when tenants are coming and going, and maybe somebody mounts their TV and then they take it out, but they don't repair the wall, then we're needing to send somebody in to repair the wall, but then the next person comes in and they just put a mount up in the same spot. It's kind of like this never-ending cycle of repairing this wall. And so they made a good point for it. And they're like, if we can just keep our own mount there, it's great. Mm-hmm. And I had no arguments against that. Yeah. But my stance has always just been like, I will let a tenant mount their TV if they want, under the understanding that they need to repair the wall after, or pay to have it repaired. And it's never been an issue for us. I've never run into an issue where either either they didn't repair it, or I wasn't able to compensate myself for paying a handyman. Like, I just took it out of the security deposit, it got fixed. It's just never been an issue. So that's why I was like, whatever.
Right.
Mount one, don't mount one. I don't see this as something that we really need to spend time on.
Leanne is in the live chat here on YouTube. She says, I love our coaching calls. You never know what direction we will go in. It is cool.
So true.
Sometimes we get into like the small little details of like things that you would have never thought about for your rental property business. Mm-hmm. Things you might overlook and you might not really ever think about until you're in that moment. And by having these discussions about these little unique situations, you can better prepare and be proactive and set in the right system, so that way you're not exposed to the risk of it when it does happen. Yeah. Just imagine if you knew what was coming around every corner. and you properly prepared for it and you put in the systems, you would never ever get exposed to any of the risk. It would just be smooth sailing for your real estate investing business every day.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Jessica's here and says, sometimes I miss those coaching calls. Always informative. Sometimes, only sometimes. If you
Whatever.
remember, Jessica, I'm also a stickler for words. And you did throw sometimes in there, so I caught that. Just saying. Just saying. Well, sometimes we miss you too.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Now she changed it from time to time. Okay. What is
From
this?
time to time,
What
we
is this,
miss
a
you.
nursery rhyme? Okay. Whatever. Okay. You just made the list. You just made the list. All right. So, TV mount. Yeah, it's cheap enough, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that's not cheap. Fourth bedroom
Oh.
in a townhouse.
Are you asking what's the question? Would I add one?
Is it a must?
Oh, no. Gosh, no.
Would you spend the money to add one?
So I guess when you add a fourth bedroom, you are increasing the value of your property in most cases, I would say, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can now start to look at the money that I'm putting in. Am I increasing the value of my property either the same or more to be able to recoup that money, right? And in most cases, I'm going to say that yes, you are.
I don't think it'll increase the value more than what you spend, but I think you'll get dollar for dollar in a lot of cases.
Yeah. And so in that situation, I think you need to look at, am I able to blend that in? And am I increasing the rent to be able to, to still cash flow? Versus like, I'm not just going to dump money into it after I purchase it and have that investment just sitting there out of my pocket, right? Mm-hmm. So in almost every situation, I would say that I wouldn't do it. I'm not gonna spend the time or the money adding a fourth bedroom. It's just simply not necessary. I think when you get the fourth, you are now entering into a space where you can accept a slightly larger family. But I don't think it's worth the time and the money to enter into that.
It does add more people who are looking for a specific type. So not only are you looking for smaller families, but also bigger families as well.
And I think they'll stay longer because it's harder to find 4 or 5 bedrooms.
So new property we just picked up has a fourth bedroom. And recently we filled a vacancy for, I never told you. Why don't you go check out some of our properties every now and then? Jeez. It's tied behind a desk. Anyways, recently we filled a vacancy with a property that has the fourth bedroom as well. And it was so much easier. Because people want that fourth bedroom. There's a lot of people with extended family. There are a lot of people who have 3 kids where 3 bedrooms is not enough. Like if you got 3 older kids, they don't want to be sharing bunk beds and things like that. Yeah. So it does help fill vacancies faster. And I do believe you can charge a little bit more rent because of the fact that it's so sought after. So.
Well, and Carmen says you might need another bathroom in that instance. Yes.
Then with one bathroom only upstairs, there lies the problem.
Yeah.
This property actually has an extra bathroom in the basement with a shower. So
2 full bathrooms.
Uh-huh.
I do got to get out to our properties more.
Yeah, maybe.
Or pay attention to when you buy them.
Yeah. But anywho, I think, spending the extra money to add it, but finding some that have it already,
bonus,
huge bonus. And I got this for a great price, less than what you would normally get for 3 bedrooms. I got a fourth bedroom. So normally I would pay more for a 3 bedroom with 1 bathroom. I got it for less with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
Nice.
So steal
Solid.
of a deal and fully renovated. So steal of a deal. So I see. But okay, then what about finishing the basement or a finished basement?
Not a must. Again, a bonus, nice perk if you can find them for a good price. But it's not going to really increase your rent by much, maybe just ever so slightly. You will fill it quicker than an unfinished. People will choose yours.
People love it.
Yeah, people love it. But it's not expected. It's kind of one of those luxury items. to have a finished basement.
I do find that the bigger families will use that basement as a bedroom, even though they're not supposed to technically. But they'll throw up curtains and things like that, or they'll throw a bed in the basement, and we'll never know about it till we do an inspection.
Yeah, or they'll make a living space, like a living room type of situation down there. Lots of people do that in unfinished basements. Throw down some floor and some curtains. Absolutely.
Okay, so the last one, then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
One that's been on my mind a lot for our own house.
Okay.
And not necessarily. I don't. Okay. Well, I'll wait and hear what you have to think about this.
Okay.
Hot water on demand.
Oh, no, not a must. I don't have much more to say. I know that you love hot water on demand, but I don't think it's a must. I wouldn't spend money on it. If I had to replace a hot water tank at one of the units, I may consider it. I'm a little bit of ignorance. If the cost was the same, I would do it.
Yeah.
If the cost was the same, I would do it.
I think that it's especially for a rental property, we're not paying for utilities. So if it costs a little extra in natural gas, that's for them. But if the cost is the same, I think it's great. I think it's one of the coolest new modern, things that are available, in my opinion. Maybe it's like, well, you want to know why it's on my mind right now is because, not to talk about my daughter on the show, but my daughter's gotten to the point now where she's not having baths anymore. We talked about this.
Yeah.
She's having showers. And she has showers longer than I do.
I'd say
so there's never any hot water.
You guys have competing length of long showers.
Yeah. We will basically use the shower till the hot water runs out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what if I were so fancy that the hot water never ended? Now, there's just three of us. There's just three people, right? I can't imagine what people would do if they had 3 or 4 kids. You know what I mean? All trying to get ready for school, all trying to get ready for work and things like that. But definitely not something that we're like, we have to have this for our tenants. It's an absolute must. Our tenants deserve this. And
we have never in our time investing in real estate have never had a tenant complain about lack of hot water. Not once. Not one single time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
And we own lots of suited properties, all types of different rentals. We have never once had a tenant complain about running out of hot water.
But I see it seems that I've found a topic that our investor listeners have a lot to say about.
Do they have opinions?
There's opinions. We have one in our suited house, and it works amazing. There is cost in maintenance. No big. What does it say? Our plumber says do not for a rental. It's a cost of maintenance. And then I also see that all of my new builds just came with it. Hot water on demand, 100%. Okay.
Okay, so
she's like, listen, 2 years ago. Okay, I'm listening. 2 years ago, I would have said no. But now that I have hair to wash, hot water on demand is a must. Okay, well, all right. That's good. Where the heck?
Okay, so this is what I was going to say is that I come from a little bit of place of ignorance because I don't know all that much about them. I haven't done the research. I've never had hot water on demand. So this is like I don't know all the facts.
Okay.
But what I've heard is that there is lots of maintenance that needs to happen, especially in the winter. And again, I don't want to say things that are wrong. I don't want to misspeak, but something about possibly like how the lines can freeze or something. You need to keep the venting clear. It can shut down easily. Anyways, I've heard that the maintenance piece of it can be tough in our cold Albertan winters.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Wow.
Sorry if I'm misspeaking. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Where's the plumber? Where's Chung? Where's Chung? How come he's not here? All right. Well, we'll get that information.
Kirsten also says, where's Chris? He'd have some contributing to do to this conversation.
I'm sure he would.
His long showers.
He does take long showers. I'm sure he's literally in the shower right now. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope this is valuable.
I had fun.
You had fun?
Yeah. It felt like light, like fun conversation, you know?
Yeah, and real conversation. You know, there's
Real
some podcasts.
considerations.
There's some podcasts people listen to, and they'll just listen to people blabbering on about numbers and data and stats and things like that aren't really all that applicable to your business. You know what I mean? And even if things do change and inflation is up or down or whichever else, how does it really affect your rental property business day to day? All right, does that mean you're going to stop buying rental properties today because inflation is up? Or are you going to sell all your rental properties? No, it's still day to day. I mean, you still have existing properties. You're not going to stop buying properties. It's good to stay informed, but this is the kind of stuff that I think people really, truly value, is having discussions like this. Should I be spending money on my business for things like this? Will it help me run my business better? Will it increase efficiency? Will it decrease my risk? These are the types of conversations that I think are the most valuable. And people have called it the nuts and bolts of real estate investing. These are the conversations I want to have. These are the conversations that investors want to have. And we will continue to keep having them with you every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Come join us, be a part of the conversation, or send us an email. Let us know your thoughts. If there's anything you would like us to talk about on the show, you can email us at info@reimorningshow.com. We can't wait to receive your emails. We can't wait to receive you in the morning. And we will see you tomorrow on Wednesday.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Want to be coached personally by Wayne and Gabby? Then you should join the Real Estate Investing Masters Mentorship Program. Details are in the show notes to get started.